Between expanding his veterinary practice, commitments with his motorcycle club, and international travel plans, Baz Wicked has little time for anything else. When a beautiful, frantic pregnant woman barges into his office for help with her dog, he senses something is off, and is drawn to her in ways he shouldn't be. But now he can't get Emerson Lockhart out of his head. Having a baby wasn't in Emerson's plans, but neither was tragically losing her parents more than a decade ago, when she was only a teenager. After all she's been through, leaving the chaos of New York City and moving to the peaceful small town of Bayside while on the cusp of giving birth was a piece of cake. She's used to handling things on her own, but when an unexpected emergency brings the charming vet who makes her remember she's more than a mother-to-be back into her life, she's grateful for his help but wary of his friendship. Emerson knows how quickly the people she cares about can be stolen away, and she never wants to experience that devastation again. But the fiercely loyal, protective biker isn't easily dissuaded. Passion ignites and affections run deep, but when their pasts collide and Baz's demons are revealed, will it douse their flames, or can true love prevail? She's a sunny, sassy photographer. Jolie Prescott has always been in love with love. She spent most of her life walking around with hearts in her eyes and immediately jumped at the chance to start a wedding planning company with her two best friends. So when her own fiancé called off their wedding and immediately started dating someone else, it was a major blow she never saw coming. The gossip about it finally starts to die down in her small town. Then her ex announced he's engaged again. And his new fiancé just happens to be Jolie's worst enemy. Which makes it really inconvenient that she can't seem to stop thinking inappropriate thoughts about that woman's moody half-brother. He is the ultimate grump. Vaughn Kavanaugh never thought he'd set foot back in Pembroke, Wyoming after moving away when he was 13, but when his father gets sick, he uproots his life to try to repair their frayed relationship. The only thing standing in his way is his spoiled brat half-sister, her determination to throw the ultimate wedding, and her beef with a certain wedding photographer he can't get out of his head. When one impulsive act leads to Vaughn announcing he and Jolie are dating, the two have no choice but to fake their relationship to save face. But when feelings enter the picture and lines start to blur, Vaughn has to decide if he's willing to give up his quiet, solitary life and stay in Pembroke for a woman he never intended to fall for, or if he's going to risk losing everything because he's too afraid to take that leap. There's a fine line between love and loathe. Rilla Pine is ready for her main character moment, but first her debut fantasy novel must pass inspection by her uptight editor. Easy on her eyes but hard on her head, he seems determined to dissect her life's work. Logan Carmichael turns manuscripts into bestsellers. A seasoned professional with ladders to climb and deadlines to meet, he has little patience for the erratic, albeit captivating, author who seems to find joy in pushing buttons he didn't know he had. Working together is plausible. Finding common ground and falling for the very person they'd like to set on fire. It's a plot twist neither one saw coming. A new job. A new city. This was supposed to be a fresh start for me. I expected the move to come with challenges, but no one could have prepared me for him. My new boss, Elliot Thompson. He's cold, selfish, miserable, and the most gorgeous man I've ever laid eyes on. I hate that he smells of whiskey and leather. I hate that his eyes remind me of the sun. I call him the golden boy, but he's hiding a dark past. Beneath his perfect exterior, something is eating him alive. A devastating secret that is kept bottled up for years. For some insane reason, I want to be the person to discover what is keeping in the dark. I will be the woman to break Elliot Thompson. Lily Parker hates commitment. Annual subscriptions? No thanks. Tattoos? Not on your life. She's already planned to leave Fairwick Falls after being there for 11 months, until a rogue patch of ice lands her in mandated physical therapy. The problem? She really meant to get health insurance, really, but it slipped her mind. Unable to climb the stairs to her apartment, she moves in with the one person who has a first-floor bedroom and Nash Donnelly, her childhood-turned-teenage-turned-adult crush. Nash Donnelly needs a wife. His money-grabbing brother wants to oust him as bank president based on an arcane 200-year-old bylaw. Nash must act quickly to prevent Fairwick Falls' only bank from falling prey to his brother's scheme to sell to a large corporate competitor. Who better to be a wife of convenience than the woman who moved in with him, and whose lips he's dreamed of for months? They propose a simple health insurance for marriage until the bylaws can be changed. Then they can happily go their separate ways, no commitment necessary, right? On my 19th birthday, he whispered sweet nothings into my ear. 6 years later, while his family tried to screw over mine, he'd looked at me as if we'd never met. Now, at his father's funeral, Lennon learns inheriting the Harding legacy won't come without a price. So, when he proposes the idea of me becoming his wife, I'm quick to turn him down. I'm no stranger to being used, and Lennon's proposal is no different, but when tragic news hits my family, I'm suddenly sprinting to meet him at the altar. Because I desperately need him now, almost as much as he needs me. But the more we settle into our roles of husband and wife, the harder I find it to ignore the feelings of our past reigniting. The way his lips feel against mine. The way his hands easily wander without thought. And before long, I'm starting to wonder if his whispers of sweet nothings have always meant as much to him as they have to me. But with a heart as dark as his, that isn't possible, is it? His commitment to celibacy just got complicated. Archaeologist Sophia Hunter-Savage's life is in ruins. After her groundbreaking work is stolen and her heart shattered, she turns to yoga to calm her anxiety. However, the irresistibly hot instructor leaves her breathless. Isaac Hayward has it all figured out: yoga, meditation, and a firm vow of chastity. But his peace unravels when Sophia, the most distracting woman he's ever met, walks into his class. Determined to stay on his spiritual path, Isaac runs to an ashram in the Caribbean. But when Sophia turns up, their forbidden attraction becomes impossible to ignore. Stranded together as a tropical storm rolls in, with only one room and one bed, can Isaac resist temptation, or will he break the biggest vow he's ever made? How to keep a secret. And fail spectacularly. Jamie Payne, How I Hate Thee. Let me count the ways. He's unreliable, flighty, and the most chaotic manchild I've ever met. The only things he takes seriously are his gym routine and adding more notches to his bedpost. We're living proof that opposites do not attract, and we have a decades-long feud to show for it. All of which makes our best friends falling in love problematic. Especially when they ask us to set aside our differences and organize their extravagant stag/hen party across the Atlantic in Las Vegas. Jamie's about as useful as a chocolate teapot. Instead of helping me book flights and arrange hotel rooms, he's made it his mission to make my life hell at every turn. But after all this time, doesn't he know I'll fight back? That I won't take his antics lying down? Maybe he's an idiot. Or maybe that's exactly what he's counting on.